Hey guys, it's me Naz. I'm going to watch AEW made Christian Cage the most savage heel WWE never let him be. It's one of those things that Christian Cage, that during his WWE run, he was aligned with Edge to basically win tag team championships, and during his singles run, he basically, started his heel turn with a guy named I forgot the guy's name, but the thing is about him in his singles run, he went for the IC championship, and then at one point, he was to present as a serious individual to what he was in AEW, because we all know that in Vince he didn't like Christian. He already admitted it at one point where he wanted a blue dot on screen for the ones who are watching TV. So it's like, I get it, if you don't like someone, you could inspire them on already, or at some point not try to put them in matches. But I get that Vince is wanted to destroy Christian during his runs, but he did win the World Heavyweight Champion because it makes sense, because of Edge retired at 2011. So most of the things that Christian does, well, the heel turn is not as good compared to what AEW has been. And the thing is about Christian, like, he has potential. It's just that WWE, basically Vince, didn't let him do what he wanted to do that made him great. The thing is that the last thing that we saw Christian was the 2021 Royal Rumble, unless I was wrong with when was the last time that he was retired. But regardless, we're going to watch why did Christian in AEW considered to be the most savage compared to what WWE under Vince McMahon that he never let him be, to become the greatest heel. Because imagine Christian and Edge one day in WWE, but they didn't do it at some point. If they did, it did became what it was when they were in AEW. So let's get to the video.
One, two, is this on?
From walking away to being forced to retire, Christian Cage has the unique distinction of reinventing himself and revitalizing his career twice outside of WWE. A lot of his best work has now been done away from where he made himself famous, with the AEW run in particular being Christian's greatest character to date, where he's established himself as one of the best in the business.
Christian Cage has never been in WWE. Christian has, but Christian isn't Christian Cage. They're two completely separate entities in my mind. Christian, quite honestly, doesn't hold a candle to Christian Cage, because Christian Cage can just be who he wants to be, without any constraints, without any politics. It's me being me.
For this video, we'll briefly highlight how he got to this point, before showcasing his excellent character work in All Elite Wrestling, and of course those brutal promos he's built this run on.
I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father, but your father's dead.
Today we look at what made Christian Cage wrestling's most savage heel.
Sit down and shut your mouths while I conduct my business.
By 2002, Christian was eager to prove himself as a singles star after much tag team success with Edge. However, he struggled to establish himself after being lost in the shuffle creatively.
Damn.
You know, when Edge and I split up, I don't think I did myself any favors by not really changing the Christian part of Edge and Christian. I still came out as the guy that looked like Christian from Edge and Christian.
I was too immature and inexperienced at the time enough to realize I should have completely done the change then.
In 03, things began to click as Captain Charisma became one of Raw's staple characters, putting in 2 solid years of heel work as the convincing creepy little bastard, aka the CLB.
CLB. Creepy little bastard.
You're calling me a creep?
You know, my own nemesis Stone Cold is right when he labeled you a CLB, a creepy little bastard.
Christian was so good it got to the point where he began to be cheered over top babyfaces like Batista and John Cena.
My name is Christian, the king of crunk. I'm taking you to school, Cena, and you're gonna flunk. I'm Captain Charisma, read him and weeps. I'm gonna throw you out for all my peeps. Just like Dracula comes from Transylvania, I'm winning the Rumble. I'm going on to WrestleMania.
On Raw, you've got got Batista with muscle to spare, but he's got charisma like Tonko's got hair. You got Triple H and Ric Flair, their legend still grows. 26 titles between them and the world's biggest nose. This is my show, poser, so go take a stroll. Canada in the house, 'cause that's how I roll.
Christian was all set to finally receive a main event world title match at Vengeance 2005, until it was then changed to a triple threat, and from there the writing was on the wall that Christian needed to leave so he could be utilized to his full potential, rather than the career mid-carder he was destined to be if he stayed.
The actual reason is, well, there's a lot of personal reasons as to why I made the decision to leave WWE, and actually too many to get into, but I will say this: I gave everything I had to the WWE for 8 years. I gave everything I had to the fans. I feel like they gave me everything they had. And, never say never in this business. Hopefully they won't forget about Christian, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Well, good luck.
Christian was one of the first high-profile stars to jump directly from WWE to TNA.
He has made the jump! His crowd is on their feet, and they're going crazy!
It was clear he'd reached his ceiling in the Federation. Plus, with reports Vince McMahon wasn't overly fond of him, it made sense to make the switch.
I've never liked you. Never. Don't you read the internet? You're a little turkey buzzard. I hate your guts.
Now going by his old name on the independents, Christian Cage was key in helping TNA continue their momentum throughout 2006, 7, and 8, as fans consider these some of the promotion's best years.
Oh no! Oh my God! Christian Cage! My God! And there they both go! Right through the table onto the ceiling! Think about what the damage the glass can do! Oh my God!
Christian was considered a solid hand in WWE, someone that may have not been truly great at any one thing, but was good at everything. But TNA was his chance to prove he could work in big matches and main events, while also holding the World Championship.
What's the capital of Thailand? Bangkok.
What a shot! The count! No way! Frog splash from the top! From the front here! Here he goes! What?
Not gonna lie, TNA during that time period was one of the best years. Of course, it went nowhere at some point when they released AJ Styles, Sting, and yeah, most of the guys were, stay in the company for so long, regardless of the contract that was given to one man in particular, because of thinking that he is the reason that made the company successful, but it wasn't. But regardless, yes, Christian was finding his own way of being one of the best wrestlers in TNA, because WWE didn't see him, knowing that Vince didn't like him at all. So it kind of benefited him when he was there, but as a matter of fact, he came back again, which is, I don't know why, because he had a lot of potential in TNA. He could at least go to other promotions besides going back to WWE. Back in 2008 or 9, so it's like, okay, but regardless, he had a lot of great matches in TNA, and it was fun to watch.
What did he just do?
Cage delivered on every opportunity, showing he could hang with the top guys and putting in some tremendous work along the way.
You see, for 8 years, I was told, you're not big enough. You don't have the right look. Christian, you don't have it. It took me to come in front of real wrestling fans to know what it is. The fans know what they want, and you can't fool the fans.
After a memorable run in TNA, Christian showed the WWE what they'd been missing. So upon resigning in 2009, he was set to be a part of a big match at WrestleMania built around a feud with the Hardys that had been going on for months, where Christian would be revealed as the person who'd be preying on Jeff Hardy. However, Matt Hardy ended up replacing Christian as the assailant. Christian instead returned on the ECW brand.
It's Christian!
Where he carried the show holding the title for the best part of a year. The shining light of Christian's return to WWE was his rivalry with Randy Orton in 2011. Captain Charisma held the World Heavyweight title twice during this feud, but never actually pinned anyone for the belt. The reigns were short, and Orton was booked quite decisively over Christian all throughout, but the match quality and story were both strong.
I think our feud got overshadowed a little bit that summer. With CM Punk and John Cena feuding at the same time, but for my money, and I'm not shy to say it, our matches blew those matches out of the water. They weren't even in the same realm, in my opinion.
Calm down, Randy. You gotta calm down. Stop it! Stop it!
After 3 more years in the mid-card, multiple concussions suffered within a relatively short space of time meant Christian had to step away from the ring, where he was all but retired, but he made a triumphant return from this career-ending injury in 2021, a year after his best friend Edge did the same, coming back from neck issues. However, it soon became clear that Christian's future didn't lie with WWE. Christian came into AEW with a tagline of "Outwork everyone."
I'm in AEW to cement my legacy. I'm in AEW to put to action 3 simple words. Outwork everyone.
This was fitting as he wrestled superb matches right from the start, which were a highlight of each show. He racked up wins which saw him challenge in main events for the AEW World title, and even captured the TNA Championship once again.
Christian's skate right there. He's got something on his mind. That's what he was thinking about. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
We have a new champion.
Cage was then paired with Jungle Boy, someone who was still green on the microphone, meaning Christian would essentially cut Jungle's promos for him while taking the boy under his wing, where he acted as a father figure, you could say. That would be until it was time to ignite a feud together, because if you followed Christian's career to this point, then you knew it was only a matter of time before he screwed Jungle Boy over once he had no use for him anymore. Though Cage's twisted rationale stemmed from when he was eliminated from a #1 contender battle royal the previous year, where as a babyface he was booed by fans after it looked like he was about to win, only to be thrown out by Jungle Boy. The turn was where Cage's character in AEW really began to kick into gear.
Wait a minute. You son of a bitch. Christian Cage no. Steel chair.
What's good is because, nobody likes Christian to win at that point because, he was already a made man. He wanted to give others a chance. And that's a good thing for most veterans. Some other veterans wouldn't like to give others or young wrestlers a chance to shine. So it's like, it's all about those politics, backstage politics. But for Christian, he's basically the type of veteran that's like, he's going to give you the chance. Because, he sees a lot of things in the past that he didn't like. And the way he did things, like he already made his career at some point now. He wanted to go further with this heel turn. And letting Jungle Boy at the time when he was a babyface a chance to rise up to be the next star. But we already know how that went for Jungle Boy to be good guy as the bad guy now. So yeah, it is what it is.
I'm eating birthday cake out of a straw tomorrow. He's a piece of You raised a piece of
His turn on the boy, known as Jack Perry, was accompanied by the most brutal of promos targeting Perry's family and his father Luke, who sadly passed away 3 years earlier.
I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father, but your father's dead.
Yep.
This was the standout heel character work we'd seen glimpses of in WWE, but not to this unrestricted and unhinged level. Christian had already proved to the AEW fans he could still go, but it was time to showcase a much darker, more serious edge to his character.
Unlike you and your generation treating my business like a video game, I treat my business like an ATM machine, and I am not done milking it dry.
No. I'm here to make money. I'm here to win championships. I'm here for me.
Now with turtleneck in tow, Cage went from outworking everyone to working everyone.
You won't have to worry about me disrespecting your dearly departed father anymore, Jungle Boy. No, you can kick up some dirt and cozy up right beside him. Because just like your father, you're all looks.
He was going to be that despicable, heat-seeking heel with no redeeming qualities that got booed every single week.
I only wish that your mom and your sister were sitting right there ringside. Jungle Boy, I'm sorry, your entire family isn't dead, and they had to witness...
Flanked by a heavy in Luchasaurus, who he'd taken from Jungle Boy and brainwashed. Luchasaurus was someone who could do all the dirty work, while Cage picked up the scraps. Following the conclusion of the Jack Perry feud, the only way any wrestler's father was safe from Christian was if they were alive.
Just like Jungle Boy, you had a father.
Yeah.
Stop him.
Let me put your mind at ease, Wardlow. I'm not going to berate your father. I'm not going to go down that path. Let's face it. Your father wasn't famous. Nobody cares about him, so I'm not going to waste my breath. And I understand that David Garcia is your father, and your father is dead. Your father was a loser alcoholic that lost his life to the bottle. I don't want to be your opponent. I want to be your father. And I understand that you have a father, and your father is dead. Is that because your father was such a talentless hack, you don't have a lot to live up to? And right now, I'm regretting my decision to not take things with Taz a little bit further, because as I survey this arena, it's pretty clear to me, nobody cares if Taz is alive. I wish your father was dead.
Now, speaking of being prepared to live the rest of your life, is your uncle gonna be in attendance? Sounded like a great guy, taking his 5-year-old nephew out for a joyride while intoxicated. And what happened, Darby?
He's dead.
Right. So much like you, I'm sure your father was a loser, but hey, at least he's not around to see what a disgrace your career has become.
Your daughter is gonna have a father that she can be proud of for the rest of her life. Tony, I am your father now.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
The father was safe.
Cage
man.
was a ruthless,
The
unforgiving
father was
savage
safe.
on the mic, ready to destroy and tear down anyone verbally, or cheat to screw them over in a match.
Fans want to see these young lions get their opportunity. Right. Now while I'm here, I'm going to hold them all down. I'm going to thumb them all down. You'll even turn a blind eye to your brother and his issues just so you can ride his coattail for one last run. Maybe we should ask her, Swerve, huh? Are you proud of your absentee father? Okay, well, Rick, I'm going to send a little message to you right now that it's actually a good thing that you look identical to the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt already. Because if you stick your nose in our business, it will be your literal come to Jesus moment tomorrow night. I also know there's not a God, because if there were a God, Ric Flair would have been dead 20 years ago. Punk, I have a question for you. What kind of man carries around a championship he didn't win? In fact, Brian, I will beat you so bad, you'll wish your wife Bree was the one that has CTE. No, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I created this title as some vanity project like some other guy that used to travel the roads here in AEW. It's okay, John, you earned it. Have that drink. I will send you back to rehab. First!
Wait a minute! The Patriot is expired! Christian Cage! The official didn't see it!
One of Christian's best views was when his best friend and legendary tag partner Adam Copeland arrived in AEW. It encompassed so much of their history together, but with Cage doing the greatest work of his career, it was way too early for a nostalgic reunion.
It's time. Let's end our careers together as a team.
Go fuck yourself. It's funny that same sentiment wasn't there when I was deliberately being held back, even though I was clearly the more talented of the two, while you were getting pushed to the moon. Why didn't you want to get back together then, Adam, huh?
I was pushed all the way to the bottom of the pile when he and I broke up as a tag team. I willed myself all the way to the very top.
I didn't take some ragtag group, dress them up like it's Halloween, and convince them they're tough guys. You tried to be their leader. I am not their leader. I am their father. That's the difference.
Good God.
Everybody knows that you grew up with a single mom, Adam. Everybody knows that you didn't have a father figure, and I'm in no way suggesting that I'm your father, Adam. I am your brother. And listen, you might not have had a father, but in turn, my father became your father. There's a very small part of me that wishes your mother was still alive so I could watch her disown you on behalf of all single mothers all over the world.
Oh, this is good.
But take solace in the fact that your little girls, Lyric and Ruby, will be well taken care of. Hey, Beth, put some clean sheets on the bed, cause your new father is coming home, girls.
With the addition of the Patriarchy faction, Christian acted as the father to Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne, who Cage had now also brainwashed. Nick was the prodigy, while Luchasaurus became Killswitch, the red-headed, underappreciated stepchild who does all the work but gets none of the credit.
When I forgot to ask what your mom's name is, so perhaps I should just slide into her DMs. Your mom doesn't post enough bikini pics.
It's funny in the wrestling business where there was a heel who basically trying to manipulate or brainwash you into joining the faction when he just messed up whatever he has to say against you, and then that's when, you know, the alliance start to form. So it's like, yeah, that's part of wrestling, y'all.
Special. You are the son that I've always wanted, and now I have. You are my golden boy. It's okay, but Nick, this card you is unbelievable. You're a wordsmith.
Christian wants it to surrender the contract. Man, oh man.
The man that put the final nail in the coffin that is Adam Copeland. I would like to thank myself.
Even poor Mama Wayne had no choice but to link up with the stable or be forever alone. Christian Cage had become the true patriarch of AEW.
You ready to come home, son?
No. Nick.
Good thing that your husband is dead already. Because Nick would have disowned his father anyway, because he realizes that his father was never as good of a wrestler as I was.
What the hell did you just do? What?
Yeah.
You did not give birth to a prodigy. Your father dying was the best thing that ever happened to you, because it led you to me. Because you could have ended up like a loser, like your father. A coward that died in front of your mother's face.
We all celebrated. In fact, your mother and I celebrated your victory extensively later that night.
The word on the street is that Christian Cage has infinite aura.
We all know he's good in WWE.
Does he have to say that though? Come on, Bren, you don't need to say that.
And really good in TNA, but it wasn't until AEW that we truly saw what Christian was capable of as a serious top-level heel. It's no longer a case of what could have been in his career, because now we know exactly why Christian Cage is one of the best in the business. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our similar video on 24 minutes of Triple H being the sickest villain in WWE history. Hope you have a great...
And that's the video, guys. All I can say is that this is a great video. Knowing that Christian is AEW heel turn run is considered to be way better than his heel turn in WWE. Like he said, yeah, when he was young, he needed to at least improve and learn from the greats, and you know, he wasn't, you know, fully developed at that time. So it kind of takes some time for him to understand, to know his potential, and when he get to TNA, he discovered it for a bit, went back to WWE and it wasn't what it was, but when he went to AEW, that's when it all changed. And to be honest, I'm really glad to see him, you know, perform well for his career, because again, like, it's some wrestlers need to understand that it isn't one company that you feel like is going to benefit you more. There's more companies that you can at least shine the most. And for Christian, he did the best he could in WWE, but for Christian Cage as AEW, that's when he shows up. And all I can say is that for you guys, thank you for watching. We will see each other in the next video. Peace.